The Pixel 11 isn't chasing raw power, and instead it's about outsmarting everything else. From a brand new 2nm Tensor G6 chip to a 100x AI-powered zoom and next-gen video editing tools built straight into Google Photos, this might be the smartest phone ever made. So let's break down all of the new upgrades in the Pixel 11 series, and trust me, there's a lot to be excited about. So first up, at the heart of the Pixel 11, we've got the new Tensor G6. Now, leaks suggest Google's moving to an advanced 2nm fabrication, possibly TSMC's N2 process, and instead of chasing extreme benchmark numbers, Google's reportedly tuning this chip for power efficiency, thermal control, and AI processing. So you can expect snappier on-device AI, faster photo rendering, and a longer battery life, and the kind of invisible power that just makes everything feel smoother. Another big change that barely anyone saw coming is that Google may finally ditch Samsung's modem and they'll be going with MediaTek's M90 instead. Now that could mean faster 5G speeds, dual SIM with dual active, satellite connectivity, and even better signal stability. Now it's not just about reception, and it could completely transform battery endurance and reduce the overheating, something that Pixel phones have always struggled with. Now onto the good stuff, camera and AI magic. Now, leaks report that Google's pushing hard into the low-light video. We're talking usable footage at around 5 to 10 lux, which is almost complete darkness. And if that wasn't enough, we've got reports of a 100x AI-assisted zoom photos, and essentially meaning your 100x zoom shots are now going to look perfect, unlike the current smartphones. And of course, this is likely going to be reserved for the Pro models, but it's going to be using generative AI just to make the photos look much better than they would without it. And what's really interesting is the rumored video generative ML as well. And basically, it's smart, context-aware video editing straight into Google Photos. Now imagine cleaning up noise, removing objects, or even changing the background in a video, and that's all going to be possible within the Photos app. Combine that with Google's ecosystem, YouTube, Photos, Gemini AI, and you start to see how the Pixel 11 could become a true creative powerhouse. Now, one more leak, the under-display IR camera might return, and this is going to give us secure face unlock without a visible notch. Now, codenames have already surfaced for the phones, and the standard Pixel 11 is called Cubs, while the Pro is Grizzly, and that alone hints that Google's not reinventing the wheel with the Pixel 11, just evolving what already works. And design-wise, not much is changing either, so expect a refined Pixel 10 style design for the 11. We'll maybe have thinner bezels and probably an under-display Face ID component rather than any radical exterior changes. Now, on the power side, we'll of course get Qi 2 magnetic wireless charging, we'll get improved efficiency from the new chipset, and a slightly bigger battery across the board. Now, pricing is also going to stay close to last year, so that's roughly going to be $799 or £799 for the base model, although a small bump wouldn't be a surprise. And as usual, Google's aiming for an August to October 2026 launch window, but for those of you excited, I'm now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing of each model. So hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first, we've got the standard Pixel 11, which comes with a 6.3-inch 120Hz OLED display, protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. It's coming with a resolution of 1080 by 2424, along with improvements to peak brightness and overall color accuracy. And although it does keep the same display size as its predecessor, the overall dimensions are slightly slimmer. We get a punch-hole camera top center to house a 12-megapixel selfie camera, now paired with an under-display IR sensor for a secure face unlock. Then over on the rear, we've got a refined triple camera setup, continuation of what we saw on the Pixel 10, but with upgraded sensors and AI processing. So that's a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and a 48-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom and improved macro capabilities. Now, the phone's going to be powered by the new Tensor G6 chipset, which is built on a 2nm process. That's going to bring major boosts to efficiency, thermals, and on-device AI. It's going to be paired with 12GB of RAM and a choice of 128 or 256GB storage, which will be UFS 4. And then power's going to come from a 5000 mAh battery with 30-watt wired charging and Qi 2 magnetic wireless charging. And then connectivity is going to include 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7, and the new MediaTek M90 modem offering faster 5G, dual SIM support, satellite connectivity, and improved power efficiency. Now, it's of course launching with Android 17, and it's going to be expected to launch around August 2026, and it's going to start from £799 or $799. Now next up, we've got the Pixel 11 Pro, and this comes with a 6.4-inch LTPO OLED display running at 120Hz and again protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. The resolution is going to be 1344 by 2868, and it's been upgraded for even higher peak brightness and thinner bezels. We've got a punch-hole camera top center for a new 42-megapixel selfie camera capable of 4K HDR video. Then over on the rear, it packs a triple camera setup featuring a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and then a 64-megapixel periscope camera with 10 times optical zoom and enhanced macro performance. Now thanks to Google's new AI zoom engine, it can achieve up to 100 times hybrid zoom while still maintaining impressive levels of detail. Now it's powered by the same Tensor G6 chipset as the base model. It's built on the 2nm process and tuned for maximum AI and efficiency gains. It's paired with up to 16GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, which will of course be UFS 4, and it's going to be powered by a 5100 mAh battery with 45W fast wired charging and Qi 2 wireless charging. For connectivity, we get 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7, ultra-wideband support, and of course the MediaTek M90 modem. The Pixel 11 Pro, of course, ships with Android 17 straight out of the box with 7 years of updates, and it's expected to launch around August 2026, starting from £999 or $999. Now finally, we've got the Pixel 11 Pro XL, the biggest and the most premium model in the lineup. It features a 6.9-inch LTPO OLED display with Gorilla Glass Victus 3 protection. Again, it's going to be offering the top-tier brightness and color accuracy. We get the same 42-megapixel punch-hole camera as the Pro in the top center. It's capable of 4K video in HDR. We get full AI portrait processing as well. And then over on the back, we get a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 64-megapixel periscope camera with 10 times optical zoom and up to 100 times AI zoom. It also supports ultra-low light video, recording down to 5 to 10 lux, which is pretty much full darkness, and it's going to be powered entirely by on-device AI. Now under the hood, it's powered by the Tensor G6, paired with 16GB of RAM and up to 1TB of UFS 4 storage. It's running a 5400 mAh battery with 45W wired charging, Qi 2 magnetic wireless charging, and of course reverse wireless charging as well. For connectivity, we've got 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7, ultra-wideband, and satellite SOS. It ships with Android 17, and Google promises another 7 years of software support, and it's expected to launch from £1,199 or $1,199, and again that's going to be in August 2026. So overall, the Pixel 11 series is looking like a great release from Google, and they're focusing on just making the phone better and more efficient for day-to-day use, rather than completely redesigning the phone for the sake of it. And of course, we get plenty of improvements to photography, AI performance, and everything we expect from a Pixel. With launch so far away though, we'll be getting more and more leaks as we approach it, and of course I'm going to be sharing them as soon as they come in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.